Hello, everyone. My name is Marion with DTM Real Talk Channel. It's the channel that you can tune into, have the ability to listen to the thoughts of others about topics all over the world that touch every one of our lives. Everybody goes through basically the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. So if you're going through, someone else has already been there. Maybe you can find hope. Maybe it's a pathway that can set you on the right road just by tuning in. So DTM Real Talk, just keeping it real. And if you like it, like us at the bottom, subscribe, and let us know just how we helped you. Just keeping it real. Nothing but love. Good evening. Good evening. This is DTM Real Talk, and we're just keeping it real tonight. And I have a special guest. Her name is LaToya Johnson, right?
Yes.
Yes. And LaToya and I have not met face to face, but we're meeting face to face tonight. So say hi to the good folks out there.
Hello, beautiful people. Hello, how you doing?
Very good. Very good. You are absolutely gorgeous, young lady.
Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. So where are you from? Let's start there.
I am from Alexandria, Virginia. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. I moved to Alexandria in '83 when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Yes. My mom was a hippie, she was from down south, and some friends came by in a van and asked her did she want to go out west, and she said sure. So she grabbed a suitcase and she went out west.
Okay. So do you have siblings?
Yes. Well, I'm my mom's only child, but on my dad's side, my dad was a bit of a Rolling Stone. So it's 8 of us that we know of, but I'm sure it's more out there that that we don't know. Because he actually didn't know how many kids he had. So
Okay. But you're mom's only child.
yes.
Very good. Very good. How you feel being an only child?
I like it no, growing up, I wish I had a older sibling, because I always had to pave the way, for my younger cousins, and, because I'm pretty and had long hair, and, I was always, people can always think they could take advantage of me. So I had to stand up for myself. So, yeah, so.
Wow.
But I just wish I had an older sibling or older cousin to like pave the way for me, so they were all, people already know.
Yeah, so they wouldn't be picking on you, huh?
Yeah,
Take
exactly.
advantage of you, huh?
They thought they could bully me.
They thought they could bully you.
Yeah.
Were you a fighter, or were you
Yes.
just like you were a fighter?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I had to be like I had like well and in school you have your friends that you think you're your friends, but turns out they we fought every day after school, so and then it was crazy, and I asked them why do y'all want to fight me? It was like they ain't having a reason. So
Okay.
that helped me develop thick skin and a backbone, and to be wary of others.
Okay.
At a young age.
Very well. Now you said LaToya, is it LaToya?
Yes, LaToya.
At a young age, if you don't mind telling me and the good folks, how young are you?
I am 42 years old.
42. You look every bit of 10.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Maybe 12. Maybe 12.
Thank you.
Guys, I just wanted you to know that these past 7 weeks we have been dealing with the power of forgiveness and the devastating effects of unforgiveness. And last week, Brian came on, and the week before, and he shared his story. And I was just like, Lord, I need another story, because I had emails, but I didn't know which way to go. And I was praying. And a friend of mine, you guys remember her, Kimberly, she came on and shared about the husband she really didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, LaToya is a friend of hers, I would say, a spiritual daughter of hers. Yes. And so she would like to tell her story, and I definitely want to hear it, because I heard that you got shot 6 times in the head.
Well, no, not 6 times, but one time. One time is enough. For
One
one time.
time.
Yes.
One time, but one time is enough in the head,
Yes.
but you're here to tell the story.
Yes, ma'am. God is good.
That's powerful. So let's just go back a little bit. So let's go to childhood. If you want to share anything with us regarding that as we lead into the story.
Well, I am the definition of a survivor. I was molested at a young age, at the age of 4. And that had developed, I was playing, we were all in the house playing hide go seek and stuff. The adults left the house, so the teenagers. I was the youngest one in the house. So we was playing hide go seek. So I know I went into the den, and my older sibling was in the den, and he told me that, I told him what I was doing. He said, yeah, come hide over here, by me. And then, and then he just started molesting me, and and he started touching me. So the next day, and that, like, I was numb. Like, I didn't even know what happened, but I knew the next night I didn't want to go in that room, so I hid in I hid in the trash can. I hid in the trash can. It was down south, and they had a big yard, and they had the big, the big burl trash cans in the plastic trash can in the kitchen. So I stepped on the drawers and got in the trash can. But when I was in the trash can, it was nothing in there, and it was empty. So when I got in there, I was trying to figure out how I was going to get out. I knew it was the
You
perfect
were 4.
place.
You were 4.
Yes, I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So
Okay.
and that at that young age, it developed me to, to use my smarts and use to what is around me to my advantage. So yeah, so I had developed that as a young age too, to be smart and resistant, and to be resilient, and to use things around you to your advantage. So
So
yeah,
let
so
me ask
that's
you,
what I.
Latoya, so did the older guy, sibling, did he continue to do that, or was that just that?
No, he just did that to me one time, but he had a hit. Well, I had found out later on. Well, because I had blocked it out of my mind for so long. I didn't. I blocked it out of my mind until I had nightmares. Until I was like 13.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 13.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was 13 when I had the first nightmare, and I was confused because I didn't know what had happened. I had blocked it out of my mind, so I really didn't know if it was true or not. And the only way in my mind the only way I can figure out if it was true or not, if I had sex. So I had sex at 13,
Okay.
and I figured in my mind, if I bleed, then it didn't happen. If I didn't bleed, it happened, and I didn't bleed.
Okay, so that was at 13 that you this was rationed in your
Yeah.
mind. Okay, okay. Did you ever tell your mother?
Yeah, eventually I told her when I was 15, because at that young age, that's when females supposed to go to the doctors to get their annual checkup. So I had to tell her. So, and yeah, so I had to tell her I was already sexually active. So yeah.
What was her response, if you don't mind me asking?
She was shocked. I was told her why. I told her, what happened, and I started to have dreams, and I had sex, and that's the only way I could figure out if it was true or not. And she was upset because she felt, I should have came to her, and in my mind, I didn't know how to come to her. I didn't know how to
Right,
tell
right.
her.
I mean, you're a kid. You didn't know how. Yeah.
I didn't know how. And then me and my mom didn't have that open relationship where I could feel comfortable coming to my mom.
Safe. I got you.
Telling them, yes, say.
Yes. Okay, okay. So you kept it in all those years until you were 15.
Yeah. Well, I told my mom at 15, but I had already told my best friend
Got you.
what was going on, and after I had sex, I had went and got my own checkup. I was got on birth control. I was already had a step on my head of my mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
was responsible.
Okay. Okay. You didn't get pregnant or anything?
Oh no, because I knew she would kill me. I knew that would be the end.
Right.
And
Okay.
the, yeah,
Okay.
but
So
literally speaking.
Okay, so you're 15 years old. So the relationship with you and your mother began to develop, or was that just something that you mentioned to her because you could at the time?
Well, I had to, yeah, I had to. So yeah.
Okay, okay. And so you're 15. So 15 is about ninth or 10th grade, something like that, right?
Yes.
Something like that. So where did your life take you then?
Um,
Graduation?
well, I, you know, I was successful. I had my head on straight. I was a good student. I didn't really apply myself. I could have been a better student, but I just skated by. Well, I didn't skate by. I was a B student, BC student. But I
Yes,
already
yes,
had.
good student, girl.
Thank you. I mean, I could have did better if I really applied myself, but
Sure.
I was over school. I was irritated. I was a teenager, so I was very rebellious. Um, but I had my head on straight. I always knew that school. I had to graduate. I had to go and get a good career, a good job. So at 14, I had always been independent, I always wanted to make my own money, be my own person. So at 14, I got my first job. I was working in a hair salon, because that's the only place. I had an interview at a restaurant, and they wanted a worker's permit, and I could only work like 4 hours after school, and I wanted to work more than that. So a hair salon was the only place that would hire me. So I was hired as a shampoo girl, and as I was in the salon, it was easy. I would look at the styles and just, look at the pictures of the styles and duplicate it, right offhand. So
Wow.
that's where I knew I wanted my career to be. And plus, when a stylist told me that she was making almost $100,000 a year and she didn't even go to college, I was like, whoa, this is for me. This for me, because I didn't really like going to school, and I only wanted to go to college to be in a sorority, and that was the wrong reason to go to college,
Right.
just
Uh-huh.
to be, so,
Yeah.
but so I went in the
College, I
past.
tell people all the time, college is not for everybody. College is good, but it's not
Yeah.
for everybody. It wasn't for me. I went to 4 colleges. Wait.
Oh, you
And
went to four
I excelled in every one of them and didn't graduate from any of them. How about that? It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And then today, I'm gonna give you a story back, but I want to just let you know that
Right.
college is
Right.
not for everybody. I
No.
went to corporate. I've been self-employed now for 30 years, and
Oh.
I make more money than a lot of my friends that has BAs and everything else, PhDs.
Right.
I make more money because of my experience, and of course the grace of God is number one. But some people are gifted or hands-on, kinesthetic they call it. That's me. They show me
Yeah.
how to do it, get out of my way and let me do it. So
Exactly.
exactly. So I'm okay. You
And
okay,
I,
girl?
and then and
Right.
then I didn't want that college debt. I didn't even like being in debt or going on vacation, not coming back and being able to pay my bills. So I knew college wasn't for me. Yeah. So yeah. So
Yeah.
but then I graduated and I, was working in a salon. I always had more than one job. Was working in a salon and I was working as a server at a restaurant. And then me and my best friend, one of our friends had tragically got killed. So in mourning, well, she was already working with a artist. So in the record label, in the music industry.
Okay.
So and we heard our friend had was in a rap group, and he was a part of this record label called One Way Records.
Okay.
So we just started working with them. So had three jobs. I was a hairstylist, a server, and a promotion and marketing director for One
Wow.
Way Records. So yeah, so I
Okay.
was busy. I loved it. I never was home. I was busy, busy, and I loved it. And then his death, like, I got like very depressed. It's like I lost myself, like I lost the person I was. I didn't know who I was, and like it's just like I was lost. I didn't Grief does a lot to you. grief
Absolutely.
grief will mess your head up. And then I had suffered with migraine headaches at 6 years old, so I was already dealing with that, and I was suffering with depression. I was diagnosed with depression, at a severe depression, as a teenager,
Uh-huh.
and so it was just all these thoughts, and then grief, and then I had suicide thoughts, and as a teenager.
Right. Right.
Well, I didn't even. It was just like crazy because I don't know what I was thinking, but one day I just was like. what would happen if I slipped my wrist? And then I started to
Right.
slip my wrist, and then a friend called my name, and then I stopped.
Wow. I'm glad you stopped.
Yeah, I'm
But
glad I stopped it.
yeah, I think everybody goes through a bit of depression in some way. All of us have been depressed for some reason or another, but the key is coming up out of it. So I'm glad you stopped. I'm glad, God used a friend to call your name. He do that sometimes.
And that wasn't the only attempt, but yeah, that was the first one.
Yes, yes. So how many attempts did you have in trying to, kill yourself?
Um, I think I'm trying to think. It was two. It was. It was even. No, it was two times.
Okay. So what would you say that was attributed to?
Oh no, it was three. It was three. It was
Okay.
three. Um,
Where would you say
one.
it came from?
Okay, the first one was out. I don't know, like the first one was, teenage years, all these emotional, feelings that, teenagers go through. It's like hard to explain now. It's hard to explain then, and it's even hard to explain now because, I still don't know what was going on with me.
Right.
I guess I can, chalk that up to due to a brain injury. But so yeah.
So
And
did you have the brain injury before that or after?
no, after I have the brain injury. Okay. After grief, when I lost myself, because I lost like my self-worth, like I didn't even know who I was anymore. And then I was lonely. I wasn't, and then well, I had started dating this guy, and then he got locked up. He was arrested. So we
Okay,
didn't
let,
connect.
let me help the good folks because I don't want you to lose me. Okay, so this was after you were 15. This is
Okay, this was yes, after I was 15.
okay. So this is your
After I
adult,
graduated,
yeah, young adult.
um
Okay, okay,
yes, my friend had died, and that's when we started working with the record label. And
okay.
then within that time, I was dealing with grief, because of his death, and
Yes.
it was just a lot. And then the depression started to kick in, and then I started to feel lonely, and then I didn't know who I was. So I reconnected with this guy that was in jail,
Okay.
and when he got out, we started dating, and the relationship was great. It was great, he had some red flags, which I was like, oh no, that wouldn't be me. He wouldn't do this to me. He wouldn't do that to
Right.
me, or he went,
You just chalked
um,
it up because you really liked him. You just chalked it up and pushed it
yeah, and I
on.
was like, I could change him. I could see the potential in him. I'm not his ex-girlfriend. I wouldn't do those things.
Uh-huh.
But you don't ignore the red flags.
Don't ignore the red flags,
Don't
honey.
ignore the red flags. So, but our relationship was great, and then 2 months at the end of the relationship, he relapsed on PCP.
Okay.
If nobody knows what that drug is, it's a dangerous drug. It has many names: boat, PCP, love boat,
We called it
water, wax.
formaldehyde. We called it formaldehyde.
It is. I don't even know why somebody would want to smoke PCP because it is a chemical that's used in a bomb in autopsies.
That
That
is
is crazy. That's like playing Russian roulette with your life. And you never know what's in it.
right, right.
So
So he relapsed on PCP, and where did that take you?
that took me. Well, I was shocked by his reaction, because one one I grew up in the hood, as some people make, it wasn't the ghetto, it wasn't the projects, it was just like a neighborhood, where
Okay.
this is called the hood. So I was familiar with it, what I'm saying. I've seen people around, been around people, well, not been around people, but seen people, who had done this drug, their reaction, and everybody reaction is different.
Okay.
So, but his reaction was like crazy. It was like he turned violent. he turned abusive.
Oh,
Like,
was he abusive to you
yes,
physically? Okay,
yes.
we're gonna pause right there because we want to hear, the good folks want to hear, and I want to hear, how was he abusive physically or emotionally with you? And LaToya is gonna come back next week, y'all, and tell us where his death took her and how the emotional and physical abuse affected her. This is DTM Real Talk, and we're just doing what? Keeping it real. And we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching DTM Real Talk. Be sure to join us for more conversation. And oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe while you're there.